This is practice on similar figures in Chapter 7. In order to state if the polygons are similar, it's not sufficient to just say yes, they are. It's also not sufficient to just compare two pairs of sides. You must compare all of them. So what I want to see is whether you know if the sides are in the same ratio. So we compare 15 in the top figure to 10 in the bottom figure. We would, of course, compare 24 to 16. And we would see if that compares also as 11.4 from the first figure to the second figure, 7.6. And then 11.4 to 7.6 is repeated since that's an isosceles trapezoid. All right, what you need to do is grab your calculator if you're not good with reducing. I'll talk about the first one though without. So if you can see that 15 and 10 divide evenly by 5 apiece, you're going to divide by 5 top and bottom, and that would give you 3 halves. 24 and 16 are both divisible by a common factor of 8. Divide 8 by 8 top and bottom, that gives you 3 halves. Now this one, not so easy to tell. You grab your calculator, you type 11.4 divided by, I forgot what it was, 7.6. And you hit math, enter, enter. And that reduces to 3 halves. Since all of these are in the ratio of 3 to 2, the polygons are similar. Yes, they are similar. The second one, we would compare the 40 here to the 48. That needs to be the same as the ratio of 30 to 35. Which needs to be in the same ratio as 14.7 is to 19.1. And that repeated as well on this one. Uh, 40 and 48 are both divisible by common factor of 4. That would be 10 to 12, or actually 5 to 6. They're both divisible by 8. And then 30 and 35 are both divisible by 5. So that'd be 6, 7. And boy, I can stop right there. Because these are not equal. These figures are not similar. Number 3, the directions say the polygons are similar. Find the scale factor of the smaller figure to the larger figure. Now, if you're not specified to do smaller to larger or larger to smaller or any specification, I'd like you to go from first figure to second figure. This says to do smaller figure to larger, so I have to go from the second figure to the first. So that scale factor would be 6 over 12, and that, of course, reduces to 1/2. So 1/2 is the scale factor. Smaller to larger on this one would be comparing the 3 to the 9, and that reduces to 1/3. So the scale factor is on this one is 1/3. 5 and 6. Number 5, I'm going to go with the little bitty side to little bitty side. That's small, 3 to 6, reduces to 1/2. That would be your scale factor. And on this one, let's see, I got to figure out what I can compare. These sides would be corresponding with the 25s, so I got to use this side, and it would correspond to, that's the longest side in this figure. The longest side in this figure is the 48, so I have to compare 40 to 48. That was a little bit of a tricky one to decide whether to use the 40 and the 42 or the 40 and the 48. This reduces by dividing by 8. That would be 5 to 6. Scale factor is always a reduced fraction. The polygons in each pair are similar. Find the missing side length. Well, I'm going to put an X where the question mark is. And I'm going to say 21 is to X. And if you like to start with X, there's 4 ways to correctly write this proportion. as 18 is 12. Okay. If you did 21 over 18, x over 12, that's going to work too. Notice that you have 18 and x across from one another in the proportion. Cross multiply. 18 times x equals 21 times 12. I need to find out what that is. 252. And then I need to take 252 and divide both, well, I have to divide both sides by 18, but that's going to give me, grab your calculator again, 252 divided by 18. And that's 14. Okay, the next one, if I put an x where the question mark is, that's going to correspond to 24 in the second figure. X over 24 equals, now I need a pair of sides with numbers on them. It doesn't really matter which one I use because they should be in the same ratio. So I can do 4 over 12. If you chose to do x over 24 equals 7 over 21, you will get the same answer. The one I did, you get 12x equals 96, and then if you divide by 12, you'll get 8. But say you'd chosen to do this one. That'd be 21x equals 168. And then if you did 168 divided by 21, you'll find out that you get 8 from that as well. Number 9, put an X on here. Now I want to really be careful here because it's hard to determine the way the triangles are termed, which sides correspond. The X actually is the shorter side on this one, so it corresponds to the 12 on the other one. So X over 12 equals 20 over 15. Cross products are equal. 15 times x equals 12 times 20, which is 240. And then we'll have to divide by 15. So 240 divided by 15. And that comes out to 16. On number 10, putting an x on the short side to short side would give me x over 3 equals 21 over 7. Cross products are equal. 7 times x equals 3 times 21, which is 63. Divide by 7, and that would give us x is 9. Number 11 says the scale factor from A to B is 5 to 6. It's almost like you might as well have a side that's 5 and a side that's 6 on the other figure. So you could even like think of it like this. That's not what they're saying. Nobody said those sides are 5 and 6, but you could use this. The scale factor of 5 to 6 is equal to, the scale factor comes from the first figure to the second figure because it says A to B. So I want to compare A to B in my next ratio. So that'd be 30 over x. Cross multiply. 5 times x equals 180. And then 180 divided by 5. Divide both sides by 5, and we end up with 36. The next one, I'm going to use the scale factor. Of course, that's the only way I could possibly solve this. Scale factor of A to B is 5 to 6. The A is the second figure, so I have to start with the x then, and it'd be x over 24. Okay, they said figure A to B. So this is A, this is B. That's why I went A is where the x is, B is where the 24 is on figure B. Cross product, 6 times x equals 5 times 24. That's 120. Divide by 6, and we get x is 20. 13, scale factor from A to B, 2, 2, 3. A, 2, B, 2, 2, 3. I'm trying to color code it. 2 over 3, blue, equals 10, go to the red, over X, the blue. Got to have blue in the same position, red in the same position in your ratios. 2 times X equals 3 times 10 now. That's 30. And then we'll divide by 2 and get X is 15. I don't know why we have a little L here, but hello, Mr. L. On the next one, it's the scale factor from A to B is 1 to 2. Okay, now 1 is on the A. So that's X is what I need to find is X. And then I've got B, I'm going to make green. A to B. B, this is green. Okay, so how I'm going to set this up is I'm going to do X over 6. That's purple over green. X to 6. And that was my scale factor was purple to green, 1 to 2. 1 would need to be on top, 2 would be on the bottom. Cross products, 2 times X equals 6. Divide by 2. X is 3. (15) The polynomials in each pair are similar. Find X. All right, this side is the short side on each of those short side to short side, 4 over 2x, or you could have done 2x over 4, as long as you do 8 is 248. Or if you did 2x over 4, you'd have to have 48 over 8. Make sure that 2x is across from 8. If I multiply, 8 times 2x would be 16x. 4 times 48, 160 plus 32, 192. Divide both sides by 16, and x is going to be 12. I'll double check that, 192 divided by 16. All right, and then I think we're getting close to the end here. We got short side. Nope, short side to short side I can't do because there's no number on the short side of the other figure. So let me go to medium and medium. Or are those longer? I'm not sure. 12 is to 18. As I did first figure to second figure, x plus 5 is to 21. Cross products again. My pen is stuck. Okay, here we go. 18 times x plus 5 would be 18x plus, don't forget to multiply 18 times the 5. That would be 90 equals 12 times 21. Go on my calculator. 12 times 21. 252. Need to subtract 90. And 18 times x is going to be 60. Oops. What is that? 252 to minus 90. Got 162. Then I need to divide that by 18. So I go 162 divided by 18. I go back to my calculator and hit divided by and then punch in 18. Got 9. Okay, 17, short piece to short piece, 12 over 8. That x plus 4. I guess this is a kite. I'm going to have to compare it to the 24 since there's nothing up here. So I started with the 12, then I have to start with the 24. and then an x plus 4b on the bottom. Cross products, 12 times x plus 48 equals 192. 8 times 24, we'll double check that. Yep, 92, and then we'll subtract 48 from both sides. 12 times x equals, got 192 minus 48. That's 144. And then I know my times tables for that. We got to divide by 12. 144 divided by 12 is 12. Okay, and then finally, let's see, we've got x and 6. Those will correspond. 18, I started with the second figure. 18 over 12 would be my second fraction. Cross multiply, 12 times x equals 6 times 18 would be 108. Divide both sides by 12. 108 divided by 12. And that's 9. Okay, we've got 2 more. 19 is saying the ratio or scale factor from A to B is 3 to 4. Okay, this was A to B. I need to start with A, with the 9, over the B, x plus 4. Multiply across. Remember, this was A to B also. So 3x plus 12 equals 36. I multiplied 3 times the x and the 4, distributing. Subtract 12. 3 times x is 24. Divide both sides by 3 and get x is 8. On the second problem, it says scale factor A to B is 1 to 6. A to B equals. Since we did A to B in the scale factor, I have to start with A in my second fraction, 2x minus 20 over 24. A to B again. All right, cross products. 6 times the x, maybe I'll show it with the distribution, like I didn't multiply it out yet. 6 times the quantity, 2x minus 20, is equal to 1 times 24. I get 12 times x minus 120 equals 24. I need to add 120 to both sides. 12 times x is 144 then, and then I divide by 12, and I get x is 12. You get to use your ISN on the quiz. This is just the solutions that we already got for all of the problems in the worksheet. Study your ISN and your reviews and your packets, and we will be turning in all of the work 7172, 7374, and the reviews. Have a great night.